Hi, everyone. Matt here with the Relief Valve Podcast. First, I wanted to thank everyone, all of the new viewers and subscribers. We're up to several hundred people on both pages, like 500 on YouTube, 600 on Rumble. On X, we're at 400 and change. It keeps fluctuating with all the fake Indians that try to sign up and then they get kicked off. But I wanted to thank everybody that's been tuning into the show. You know, when I started the show, I said, I don't care if I end up reaching 5 people, 500 or 5,000, just to get this message out there and be another voice in the fight against the craziness of what's going on in our politics and how these shitbags and the left try to run our daily lives. If you like the show, and you are considering donating, which I really appreciate if you're willing to do, you'll see here that you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Relief Valve Podcast. Also, you can scan that QR code that I made by myself. I'm very proud. Well, not by, I had help from a website to do it, but I made that. And it'll take you directly to my link on Buy Me a Coffee, and you can donate to the show. I pay for everything out of pocket. I don't receive anything currently. This is a show that I'm still trying to grow, and I'm hoping to see current support or, you know, at some point future support as well. But in the meantime, thanks for all the live viewers and subscribers that we have. Once again, it's really appreciated. And in order to help entice you guys into being a part of the show and potentially donating, I'd like you to check out our new sponsor that we have. Thanks, everyone.
Life got you feeling down? Baby Billy's Health Elixir will lift you up. Heal the spirit to heal the body.
Colds, flus, streps, even COVIDs. Every disease cured with ease by this blessed formula based on ancient scripture. You just drink this tasty coconut silkiness every morning, and that's it. Done. $100 for a 1-month jug. Additional jugs only $65 a pop. And I make nothing. Zero. Zilch. By the time I pay all my scientists, all my people in my research department, lab coats, it's a wash. Well, why you do it then, baby Billy? Well, because I'm selfless, and I want to heal as many people as the dear Lord lets me.
Baby Billy's Health Elixir, a miracle in a bottle. Not approved by the FDA.
Take what I want, even until France, cause I'm the Fuhrer. Poland and Austria, Czechoslovakia, yeah, I want them. Blitz and the Krieg, sending love, Kriegsmarine, waste that surrendered. Getting through your head what the Fuhrer said, not money lenders. Hate to say I told you so, say I'll blood and soil. To believe I told you so. Innocent Jews, now you know. Irrelevant salutes. Indicating some pace without masquerades, that's not my problem. Gonna need that never small way, we're outnumbered. No way, I'll die inside a concrete bunker. Hate to say I told you so, see oil, blood and soil. To believe I told you so.
love it. I love it. It gets me juiced up every single time. Where's my goddamn background? There it is. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Relief Valve Podcast. I've just been mysteriously absent for like 11 fucking days when I should have been posting. You know, I've, as I said in another episode, just a hi, how are you? How are you all doing today? How was your weekend? Last fucking weekend. I've been out of work on an injury, and one of the things that I've been able to do since I've been out with that, because I was a single dad for a fair amount of time, is for one of the first times, aside from dealing with this physical therapy, all that stuff, I've actually been able to spend time with my kids. I had to, when custody of them got turned over to me, it was hire a babysitter, get right back to work, and pick up more hours. So I lost a whole bunch of summers and opportunities with them. So I've been trying to take some of that now when I can, being home with them. And it's gotten in the way of the posting schedule, and I've missed a whole bunch of stuff. So I apologize. I'm going to be giving you yesterday's news today. Some of the shit you've already heard about, but, you know, I'm really doing a deeper dive on it for the first time. And join me and let's have a little fun with it. So some crazy shit. Why are there... I don't hear my stupid voice on the double thing. There we go. Okay, just checking the other feeds and making sure they're working okay. So a lot been happening while I've been off the radar a little bit. I did a show where I criticized the Tate brothers, and very, very shortly, almost immediately after that, Andrew Tate blocked me on X. So we're going to be getting into that. The Perez Hilton thing was absolutely crazy. We're going to be talking about that today. I ran into a point where I was confused, and I thought that we were talking about Perez Hilton or something. When I first of all, I have no fucking clue who Perez Hilton is. It's possible you guys don't either. It's just some weird gay guy who's apparently had some success in being a gossip blogger and everything else. I'm going to go over it. Perez Hilton's not even his real name. I don't know why the fuck he's calling himself that for clout, to take clout off the actual Hilton family, the ones that own the hotels. His real name is Mario Armando Lavanera Jr. So we're going to be getting into that and the Fauci tribunal too, because what's happening there is, it's not right, but it's because there's not any real justice. That he's going to perjure himself, and they're going to get him on that for saying I plead the fifth 500 fucking times, and maybe he'll face a year in jail for it. It's like, well, he was responsible for the deaths of thousands, locking us in our homes. I mean, the list goes on. The guy's practically a war criminal. So we're going to be getting into that too. But first, we're going to start off with something fun and horrific here. This was the national anthem being sung at the women's first professional baseball game. And so this is an old famous singer, and she's singing it. And suffer along with me for this one. Women's national anthem, first women's professional baseball game. Here we go.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
It was all wrong. They could have hired me. I would have done it for free.
Was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and Christ.
So the white woman is trying to sing normally and have a beautiful voice. The black woman over here is butchering it. Look at her freedom smiling.
We're so gallantly streaming, and the rockets and bursting in gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
Look at them being serious like we've made it. This is the big leagues. I love it. And in the meantime, she's going, I would not be able to keep a straight face. I don't know how she is. Well, she's going to be like, yeah. Very professional here. It's like, this is just like a bag of cats. So like, here to sing the national anthem, an angry bag of cats that we swung around before bringing them out onto the field.
Or the land of the free
Oh my.
and the home of the brave.
You go, girl. You really pulled off that ending. They're all cheering because you're done, by the way. Good God. I can't understand why women's sports aren't more popular. I really can't. Look at the fucking ump in the background. Just like, get off your goddamn asses. And they just found the consummate lesbian to be part of this. Get the fuck up and sure, her voice is amazing. Oh God. Okay, I'm gonna give your ears a minute to stop bleeding. You can wipe that up with a towelette or something. And we're gonna go to the Tate brothers here. I don't know if I want to. No, that goes to the Fauci tribunal. I also wanted to show his page and show that he blocked me. Yeah, so I have it over here. Let me just swing him over there. So on my show a couple of weeks ago, I ended up criticizing the Tate brothers for how they're acting and how they're sharing information in prison. So my focus was, you guys are supposed to be alpha males. You guys criticize everybody else that's a beta male, that you don't man up and get yourselves 3 women, have 3 women, have 4, knock all of them up and have more babies. All of just the quintessential alpha male stuff, right? On this particular clip here, and this is where he banned me right after this. So it's odd that he either
I know
him or a representative of his, because it happened immediately after I did this. So one, it was posted, I put on his pages where I called them out for you're supposedly being alpha males, and all of the information that's coming out from you guys in prison is whining and moaning and complaining. The water's dirty. They're not feeding us enough. There's a cannibal next door to us. They're not bringing us as much food as they should. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, tell it to the fucking Vietnam vets and the guys who stormed the beach in Normandy. They'd fucking love to hear about your current situation. But here's one example I took from him. And then after this, they banned me, where he flies to the Middle East before being arrested. And he's talking about how alpha it was and how tough he was, that everyone that's not willing to fly to the Middle East during an ongoing conflict were pussies. And he was the only alpha male that was willing to, one of them, to fly over there and just do his business and do his own thing. This is one of the things I was talking about on that show. I want to show you here.
Of one mind or the other about the Tate brothers. You love them. They're fucking alphas. They're the best. You don't like them. They're a fucking pain in the ass, whatever, right? But so they're wanted on multiple charges. Again, that's alleged. And I'm going to I brought up some of them, including they've been arrested in the United States.
Yeah, that was their, so they're what is
thing.
Right,
then you come to him being in jail with his little message that he sent out, whining about the conditions of jail and how it's intolerable for him and his brother. Like, well, which one is it? I mean, an alpha would be able to survive jail. There are American soldiers who got captured in Vietnam and got exposed to the most horrific circumstances that they could be in. Having shit piled on top of them, being put in bamboo cages, barely eating. In the meantime, the Tates, the alpha males, who's telling you, well, Mr. fucking rich guy, who's also like a Muslim, so why the fuck are they going to why is Iran going to blow you up? He goes to Dubai and he's like, I don't know what the problem is. It's fucking awesome here. Well, everyone's pussies. Then he goes to jail and goes, I don't have clean water. I can't sleep. They're hardly giving me any food. He sounds like an old Jew. I hate it here. There's no food. There's no water. I haven't had clean sheets in days. It's like, shut the fuck up.
At least at the bare, if I'm not entertaining you, at the bare minimum, apparently I'm entertaining myself. But so shortly after talking this, and I went through the official list that was sent out through their lawyer, and I don't. Did I show it here? There's a lawyer at a press conference. He's going over what they're dealing with. Now, to be clear, of course you should be receiving the proper treatment when you're in prison, the bare minimum humane treatment, right? I'm not saying treat everybody like rock stars. You're a criminal. You're in prison for a reason, or very likely in prison or being held for a reason. But when you're in, and he goes on that part to say, and I didn't play that part, but to say that he had the guts to fly to Dubai in the middle of a war, that he's this alpha and he's this and that. And then this list of complaints that they all have is coming out through their lawyer, and it's like, well, okay, so everybody that doesn't handle things like you and has to be an alpha and run his whole house and his whole life just like you, if they don't do it, they're beta males and they're losers, and they need to like pay for your program and follow you and learn everything from you. And then you go to jail, and then you cry about all the conditions that are in jail. And of course, the reality of it is, and this is what pisses me off about these wannabe tough guys and these wannabe influencers and stuff. You talk a big game to everybody, and you're walking around in your shirt that's worth $500, and your pants or shoes that are Gucci's and are probably $3,000. You stay in a hotel in Dubai, which probably cost the same price as other people's mortgages. And then you sit there living this extravagant life, and you have the audacity to do videos for everybody and tell them they're pussies, they're betas, you need to be alphas, and you need to live like the Tate brothers. This is the biggest problem I have. And then you go to prison, and instead of living up to your own hype and sharing this with everyone that's paying attention to you being in jail, you go, instead of going, hey, you know what? The water sucks. The water here is shit, but we're dealing with it. We're hardly getting fed, but we're staying strong mentally. We got a cannibal next to us. It's a crazy fucking time over there. He's screaming and hollering all the time. But you know what? It is what it is. We're fighting this in court. We're going to prove our innocence, and we've got to tough it out. And we've got to get through this. This is what it is right now, and we're going to get through it because we can. Instead of that message, so you have two things there. You can talk about the conditions that are in your cell and how you're being treated and get that message out there adequately. But then you can also show, hey, we're tough. We're dealing with this. You know, this is our Normandy or our Vietnam or something. You know, you try to be tough. No, it's whining and moaning about the food and the water. You know what every other prisoner deals with when they go to prison. This is why I criticize them. You're alphas as long as you're wearing your Gucci shoes and you're in a $2,000 a night hotel in Dubai. But the alpha comes off when you're in prison and you've got to find a way to survive in harsh circumstances. Like be about it, dude. Don't just fucking tell all of us how to do it while you're rolling in dough that all the suckers are paying you so they can figure out how to be an alpha by listening to your great fucking words of wisdom. Fuck off. So here we go. We go to Andrew Tate right here. I'll try to post on something. Why can't you reply to this? The author has blocked you, so you can't perform this action. Right after I did that video. Blocked. Can't comment, can't share, can't like. All I can see stuff on his page, but I can't do anything else. Unmatched peripacity, coupled with sheer indefatigability. No fatigue, makes me a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor. Escape slavery. Yeah, you're feared opponent in any realm except when you go to jail and then your fucking panties get in a bunch and you cry to the whole world through your lawyer. My water tastes like poop. Shut up, bitch. So fuck the Tate brothers and their fucking alpha bullshit and their emergency meetings. Have another fucking emergency meeting. Figure out how to survive in prison with your asshole intact. Okay, so moving on to the next thing here, and it's this has been, in my opinion, a dog and pony show, or as Biden would say, a lying dog-faced pony soldiers. So he's already received a pardon from this blanket pardon from Biden when he was president. Which, why do you need to pardon someone if they haven't done anything wrong? But he gets this pardon, so now he's clear for really going after him for all of his crimes during COVID. He was the one responsible for everyone being forced to wear face diapers. He was the one that was responsible where you couldn't take a walk or a jog farther than, what was it at the time, 3 miles? You couldn't go more than 3 miles away from your house. He was the one responsible for all the arrows on the floor at the supermarket and Walmart, and you had to follow that arrow, and then you had to be a good little boy and follow the other arrows down the next aisle, 6 feet apart, all that fucking bullshit. He was responsible for loved ones not being able to be together in the hospital, for a funeral, for even simple family functions, for suggesting you couldn't even have the Christmas or Thanksgiving that you wanted. Because their suggestion was you need to limit the amount of people in your house. The fear-mongering and the bullshit that this man forced on the American people. And what was even scarier is how many people were willing to partake in it. To willingly accept it. To the assholes driving around in their cars with their mask on by themselves. To the people who still wear masks now to this day. I was out shopping earlier today. 2 people got out of a car, husband and wife, both had masks on. Like, what the fuck are you doing? COVID was so last year. And it is all thanks to this fucking asshole. He is essentially a war criminal. The people that died, the inoculations he forced on people. If him and Joe Biden had their way, they would have forced COVID-19 shots on all of us at the risk of your job. In fact, many people did go through that. EMS, police, fire responders, military. Many of them were discharged or fired from their jobs because the shot was mandatory, and if you didn't get it, you were done. Your career was over. This is what this fucking piece of shit and Biden did to the entire country. Now, many people were vindicated. They were able to get their jobs back and be able to refuse the shot. We have obviously learned what we've learned about the shot, and for the most part, they are useless. Not only are they useless, but they were doing harm to people as well. I said this before on a previous show. I did, at the time that COVID was happening, and they were censoring everybody. If you were even talking about it and they thought it was misinformation of some kind that you were giving, your stream was taken down, or if the episode or the upload happened to make it, it was completely removed. So during that time, I did one story that I still remember to this day. I believe it was a young boy in, he was either in Minnesota or Michigan. His family felt strongly. They listened to all the bullshit from Fauci and all of them. And they said, okay, we all need to get inoculated. Our son has to get inoculated. Took him to a Walgreens, a CVS, whatever it was. He got his shot. Came home, went to bed, and never woke up. I mean, he didn't just happen to have a medical episode right after getting that shot. The shot killed him. They lost their son. Because they listened, they bought into the fear and paranoia that was put out by that administration and by that man, by Fauci. And he has been allowed to get away with this. He's retired now. He is currently receiving his pension for all the years of government service. None of that has been taken away from him. And this dog and pony show is to question him, is to yell at him, and then maybe get him to perjure himself so you can have a little gotcha and maybe try to get him a year or 2 in jail or something. But indirectly related to everything he did in COVID, because you can't go directly after him. This is the thing that pisses me off about this whole thing. This is all of the representatives posturing to go after Fauci. So here, where Senator Bernie Moreno is absolutely torturing Dr. Fauci to his face, saying, "Who the fuck do you think you are? It's a total disgrace what you did to this country, you may have had 50 years of public service. You imagine just being able to sit on your ass and be a do-nothing, that you can do it for 50 years instead of doing real work like the rest of us and doing it for 30 or 40? Let's play some of this stuff.
It was about 6 years ago today that I decided I'm going to give up my businesses, sell them all, run for office, run for the United States Senate. Here I am sitting in front of you 6 years later saying, who the fuck do you think you were for doing that? It is a total disgrace what you did to this country. And if my Democrat colleagues are standing there defending you, I hope the voters of the United States of America watch the clips of every one of you doting on a guy who was more interested in being a celebrity than saving American people. I will make it my mission to make certain that every single one of those Democrats who did that will see that clip over and over and over again. Because there is no defense of what you did. You may have had a 50-plus year legacy of public service, but it ends in total and complete disgrace. So let me ask you an opportunity to answer one question. Will you apologize, just apologize, to the people who you harmed through your actions? Will you say, do you have the dignity to just say you're sorry?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
See, it's one, an apology is not good enough. You're going to apologize to the family who couldn't be with their mother or grandmother who died alone in the hospital because of the bullshit 6-foot rule, and you couldn't have a group of people in a room, which ended up being completely fucking useless. It was completely unnecessary. You're going to apologize to them? You're going to apologize to the families that lost a child or lost a loved one. Not only lost them because they listened to your shit advice, but then couldn't even be with them in the hospital as they suffered. What apology? This fucking piece of shit needs to hang for what he did. That's what needs to happen. And the reason that I haven't gone into this in great detail, because all of this is posturing from everybody. The Democrats who hate America and love what he did are going to defend him and say, well, he did the best he could in difficult circumstances. And the Republicans are going to try and step up and say, hey, look, we represent all of you. We're going to yell at him and waggle our fingers at him. Okay, does that give us back everything that we lost during COVID? No. It doesn't do shit. This whole thing is shit.
Apologize. Just apologize.
Okay, so that was another part
to the people who you harmed through your actions. Will you say, do you have the dignity to just say you're sorry?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
So you won't apologize to the military members who Joe Biden summarily dismissed from the military for not taking the vaccine?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Will you apologize to the business owners that lost their business, shattered their lives, and they'll never recover?
And that's another thing. Do you remember all of your small mom and pop stores and your local businesses? Do you remember when the restaurants in the old town that I was in, there was a small breakfast place that did a lot of business in the morning. They were forced to move all of their operations out of that building because of the bullshit. You can't be near each other, 6-foot fucking crap. Build a tent outside with ventilation running through it, bearing in mind this enclosed tent area is outside with gaps in it between the poles, so that you can properly vent the area. Then they had to take all of the tables and move them 6 feet apart from the tables to either side of you and in front and back of you. So everyone was separated with the 6-foot bullshit. and the small mom and pop stores could spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars rigging up their little bullshit operation outside instead of just running it in the fucking building, which is what you could have done to begin with. In the meantime, Walmart, being an essential place for people to buy food, was allowed to send people in there 100 to 150 at a time. If you remember, the Walmart worker had their little fucking tablet, and then every time someone left, they updated it, and then when you walked in, they updated it with new people, and then you followed your stupid arrows, and you did your thing, and then you did your shopping. Walmart really didn't have to be affected by it. In fact, Walmart and Amazon, all of the major companies, grew and their profits went through the roof, while mom and pop stores and local small restaurants and businesses either barely survived by following the bullshit COVID rules, or they went out of business and they closed their doors. I remember seeing video places like Los Angeles, California, stuff like that, where you had to set up, you had to leave your restaurant. You could cook and do everything in there, but you had to set up on the sidewalk. And you had to serve everybody there because you had to follow all the bullshit rules for it. That was the fear-mongering they did to us for a 99.9% survivable disease. And they've brought him in. He can't say sorry because if he gives any remorse whatsoever, then maybe you can find him responsible for all of his actions. So instead, I think it was 111 times he said, "I plead the fifth."
Cover.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Will you apologize to the moms who had to force their infant children, 2, 3, 4-year-olds, to put masks on, and what that did and how that traumatized those kids?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully
the advice of counsel, I want to say that I'm a fucking douchebag.
Will you apologize to the family members of the people who died because they took your advice and not only got the first vaccine, but the 5, 6 other boosters that they did not need?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Will you apologize to that mom from Ohio for being arrested for watching a football game with her family? When that story broke, I said to myself, I cannot stand idly on the side and watch this happen. It was about 6 years ago today that I decided I'm going to give up my businesses, sell them all.
And there were pastors, right, at churches. Church wasn't allowed to happen. Now, Black Lives Matter could riot, and they said, well, and Antifa and stuff like that, they could go into the streets, burn businesses down. They could protest, drag people out of their cars and hurt them. And you remember CNN, Don Lemon and Como, they're saying, well, it's a fiery but mostly peaceful protest where like a car and a building was on fire behind the reporter. And saying, well, it's their fundamental right as an American citizen to protest. So while they're out there burning people's businesses down, smashing windows, looting things, they did not have to follow the 6-foot rule. They did not have to wear a mask, even though they did because they're cowards and they want to hide their identity. They did not have to get a shot or a booster. They didn't have to follow the little arrows on the road to make sure they were doing everything properly. They were allowed to riot and pillage like animals. And they didn't hold them to any of the rules they were forcing the rest of us who follow the rules to do. And that was fine, according to the Democrats, according to Fauci, according to Biden. That was fine that you could do that because you were, it's your right to protest. So I can't make you follow a 6-foot rule and get a booster. I can't do that. But we can shut all the mom and pop stores down. We can kill people's kids by giving them a shot they don't need because as long as the kids aren't immunocompromised, the children were the strongest and most set up in order to fight the virus and have little to no impact to them whatsoever. Both of my kids at the time, and this was at the height of it, so before more information came out about it, if you got sick, you were immediately out of school for like 14 days. It was the maximum at that time. So both of my kids ended up getting it. Barely the sniffles, barely a cough. They gamed and played video games and talked to their friends on Snapchat and everything else, and they had a mini vacation and they were fine. The children, for the most part, were completely fine through COVID. In fact, they were the most well-prepared immuno-wise than any of all of us in the rest of the age groups. And instead, this fucking war criminal piece of shit was still insisting, jab your kids. Give them that shot, they need it. And ended up killing children.
Run for office, run for the United States Senate. Here I am sitting in front of you 6 years later saying, who the fuck do you think you were for doing that?
Okay, so we saw that part. Now, another thing here. So he invoked the Fifth Amendment 111 times, despite his broad Biden pardon, because he was probably worried, due to this line of questioning, that they were going to come up with something that they might be able to hang him with. It's not going to let me read this unless I sign up for their stupid site. But that's still important to know. 111 times. Here's something else you might not know. Fauci and his wife worked together. They were in the same program. As a matter of fact, I believe that she was his boss. So he answered to her and they communicated together. I asked Grok about this so I could refamiliarize myself. One was a higher rank than the other, but they were both working together. Oh, this is McConnell's team. I had asked Grok and it didn't save it. I'm going to look that up. Hold on. Cool. We can take a half hour to load. That's no problem. So while that's trying to figure itself out, this is so the conclusion has come to his questioning, I believe, at this point. And official letters to prosecute Fauci have been hand-delivered to the Department of Justice. Now we're going to find out. So let's say, for the sake of argument, that because none of these people really end up ever facing jail time, right? We know that. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that this action is successful. At least Rand Paul kept his word from years ago dealing with COVID, saying he was going to go after Fauci and saying that he was going to try and prosecute him. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that they were able to make something happen because he's perjured himself. He used the Fifth Amendment more times than is allowed. He could face maybe a year in jail. That's not really anything. I had it saved. The Mitch McConnell thing is funny too. Apparently Mitch is out of the hospital and he's recovering at home, and he's going to work his congressional position at home. Here's a picture of him working from home. Okay, so first, this was prior to his tribunal that's happening right now. This is in 2021. This is him laughing at the suggestion that he should ever be prosecuted for anything when being interviewed. And then, of course, does what every Democrat does, because he's a Democrat as well, and then deflects to January 6th. Here he is.
Senator Cruz told the Attorney General you should be prosecuted.
Yeah. I'd have to laugh at that. I should be prosecuted. What happened on January 6th, Senator?
Senator Cruz told the Attorney General you should be prosecuted.
Yeah. I'd have to laugh.
And my whole thing just crashed. Reset. All right, I just had a weird thing happen here.
Senator Cruz told the Attorney General you should be prosecuted.
Yeah. I'd have to laugh at that.
There's too many tabs up.
I should be prosecuted.
Is wigging out. Just so it's only a 15-second clip. 16 seconds it went over it. The audacity of this guy, after everything he did, after everything he put the American people through. Imagine being in his place, doing everything that he did, and then sitting back and laughing about the whole thing and saying, "Me? You're going to come after me? How about this other senator? How about this other guy right there? Why don't you go yell at him? Like, no remorse. You remember the story about how they were doing testing on dogs, and they had these sand fleas or something, and allegedly they had the dogs. They cut the dog. Allegedly, they cut the dog's vocal cords so they couldn't cry out, and then they had a cage on them, and the sand fleas were eating their head. I don't know what the fuck they were trying to establish with this testing, but that was one of the alleged things that came out of all of this testing on people, on animals, and what he did. And he could sit back and smile. I mean, I suppose I would too. If I got away with all that, I was my own little celebrity on the Democrat side, and I'm collecting a 50-year pension from all the tax-paying suckers because of everything that I did. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I want to find, this is a real picture, by the way. This is not AI or generated. Here's Fauci, and here's his wife flipping off cameras. There were people outside their home or in their neighborhood, either protesting or holding up signs or doing something. So this faggot, Brian Krasenstein, put it up. He's a little Democrat queer. But this is their feelings for the American people and what they did. Now, so this is where I asked here, because when I was covering this initially, they were both working in the same department, and I thought one was answering to the other one, but I'm going to refresh my memory here. So no, Christine Grady, Anthony Fauci's wife, was not his boss or supervisor. Grady served as the chief of department of bioethics and the head of the section on human subjects research. They were working in the same field and same area together at the NIH Clinical Center. NIH's research hospital. Fauci was longtime director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, one of the NIH's institute centers. Both roles fell under the broader NIH, but they were in separate organizational units with distinct reporting lines. Grady did not oversee the NIAID, Fauci's position, or his work. But they were in very similar departments and communicating with each other. Her department focused on bioethics research, teaching, and consultations on ethical issues in clinical research and care. It did not conduct internal ethics. Look at her ethics right there. There's her ethics right there. Investigations of NIH institute directors or exercise hierarchical authority over them. NIH has stated that Grady does not approve research protocols and had no role in processing such as FDA emergency authorizations. Yeah, that's probably bullshit. Claims that she was head of NIH, oversaw Fauci's ethics compliance, or held him accountable in an official capacity have been repeatedly rated false or misleading. Okay, so while they're in similar departments they're working within the same thing, the NIH, one was not answering to the other, but they were very likely communicating together. The NIH director and the various institute, PolitiFact was saying that. PolitiFact was which is a left-wing news site. PolitiFact was claiming that one was the other one's boss. Director and the various institute directors report through different channels. Fauci has publicly described consulting her informally on ethical questions as a spouse, calling the partnership advantageous. Yeah, I'll bet it was. And some critics have highlighted the appearance of a conflict of interest. Now I lost where I was. As a spouse, calling the partner, and the critics of the appearance of a conflict of interest, given their marriage and overlapping professional spheres. This is distinct from her holding a supervisory position over him. And then Fauci stepped down, blah, blah, blah. But there you go. That's what they think about the American people right there. So, okay. So that's my thoughts kind of wrapping up on that. I think it's a reach and a last-ditch effort. I mean, if he ends up facing some jail time, fine. I'm sure he's going to be in club fed, and he's probably going to be having an okay, not too bad of a time of it, and that's the sad part of the entire thing. All right, bear with me 1 second here, okay? Because with the computer crashing, some of my software looks like it's frozen, but it looks like the stream is still going up on that. I think it's a reach and a last-ditch effort. So I know they're trying to get what they can get from him and make him face some sort of responsibility for something. And I suppose it's something, but it's nowhere near the restitution that is owed to the American people, and really how, like, an extension of it, the rest of the world ended up handling that entire situation. Okay, now going on to Senator Mitch McConnell. His team. No, this is old video. No video of him. No interviews. No reports. No nothing. I'm pretty sure this guy is dead, and they are playing out this cosplay that he is alive and he is going to be working from home is crazy. So Nick Sorter reports Mitch McConnell's team puts out a statement claiming their missing senator is out of the hospital, being relocated to his home. He will not be returning to work until the fall. This is insulting to the people of Kentucky. They're missing half of their senators. It's shameful. And it's crazy. For Lindsey Graham, his adopted daughter is doing the job now, not voted in by the voters of Kentucky, and no political experience whatsoever. On top of that, you have essentially the staff of Mitch McConnell running a dead senator's office, and they are pretending he is still alive and kicking, and he is going to be working from home and voting in Congress from home, which means his staff are going to be the ones doing it. This is allegedly an update from Senator Mitch McConnell and his office. Earlier today, I was discharged from the rehabilitation center to continue my recovery at home. Elaine and I, which is his Chinese spy wife, Elaine and I are grateful for the many well wishes and support from friends, colleagues, and Kentuckians, and for the attentive care I've received from excellent doctors, nurses, therapists, and hospital staff. On the advice of my doctors, I'll maintain an intensive regime of physical therapy from home during the state work period, and I'll continue to engage with my staff and colleagues on important Senate business. And like I had said before, this isn't going to load. There's Mitch working from home right now. So good luck to Mitch. But it's crazy to me, and the problem with it is that we as Republicans, or you're conservative, or whatever you like to look at yourself as, we criticize Kamala Harris and the Democrats for just kind of making her the queen to be, because she didn't participate in when she ran against Trump. She didn't participate in the DNC convention, where all of the delegates could come together and they could collectively vote for the person that they wanted to move ahead with the nomination to run for president. So let's say, for the sake of argument, every one of them were going to vote for Kamala anyway. They took the right away from all of them, and they just said, this is our candidate. We're not having the vote at the convention. And they were heavily criticized for it, for not following the constitutional rule, the people's right to vote on who they want to move forward in a primary. They just installed her as the queen to be. In the meantime, what we've turned around and done is put Lindsey Graham's adoptive daughter in his place, and now she's running a job that she's not qualified to do. And from all intents and purposes, it looks like Mitch McConnell's staff is running his position as a Kentucky senator, and he's dead. And they're playing it off in order to make it to the midterms. That's what they're going to keep that seat held. And sometime as the midterms approach, they'll say, oh, okay, we're going to have an election to see who's going to take over in Lindsey Graham's and McConnell's seats. It's an attempt to hold everything together as best they can, because the midterms are probably going to be a mess. People are upset with the price of gas, how the Iran war is going, how Trump is handling it. It's a mess, and people aren't happy. This is going to affect the Republicans when the midterms come around. Okay, this was another one that I only got to see while I was out and about. The illegal invasion of doctors, engineers, and et cetera, just piling into the outskirts of these cities in Spain was, I don't know if you guys saw this, absolutely crazy. Two of them are having they're having a knife fight. He slashed him.
Mira la puñalada, la puñalada. La puñalada. La puñalada, mira, mira el cuello, no sangre, no ves sangre. Hostia, ¿verdad?
Stop whistling. Who are you whistling at? Is your boyfriend one of those guys? Fucking queers. Always with the whistling with them. What is it? And there were more scenes of them piling off the boats and just these migrants piling into the town. There. I don't know if it's in this clip, but there was one video of them. I think a citizen of that town, of a Spaniard, just
Morocco,
getting
this is a city called
like either cold clocked and knocked out and then beaten.
Ceuta. You're watching as thousands of migrants break through the fence and completely overwhelm the border police. Their video showing huge groups of people, mostly young military-age guys, cramming into inflatable tubes or arriving on shore in other ways, some of them wading in the water as they break through the gates to get to the...
Look at that. Look at that. That boat is meant for recreation. Look at the maritime laws being violated here. You have too many people on it, and this is meant for recreation, not for travel.
The other side. Sandra, this is reminiscent of kind of what we saw during the open border during the Biden administration through 2021, 2024, kind of similar to what we saw in Del Rio back in 2021.
Not one family to be seen.
The socialist agenda, their platform literally says they want to abolish borders, abolish immigration enforcement, have complete freedom of movement. This is what it looks like in another country if they get what they want. Notice there is no resistance from the government whatsoever. These people are coming in without any obstruction. And if people don't know, Spain has a very left-wing government. Earlier this year, they did a big amnesty program for over 1 million illegal immigrants living in the country. They had 1.3 million illegal immigrants apply for that amnesty program between April and June. So that's what we call a pull factor, Sandra. They're looking for something like that. They know if they can just get their foot in the country, maybe someday that left-wing government will do another amnesty program. And you were just reading some of the wires. The locals want an emergency declaration. It sounds like...
The ministry is saying no. They will not deploy military to the border.
Apparently they don't think this is an emergency. I mean, look at this. This is a total free-for-all.
It does feel like we are looking at a few years ago when you were reporting at the border here in the United States. This is happening right now. This story is breaking right now. And you're not just talking about hundreds, thousands of migrants are pouring over the borders as we speak.
Yeah, and again, I mean, just look here. Do you see any women or children? I mean, most people would call these folks so-called asylum seekers. These are all young guys just flooding into the country and overwhelming what, if any, border there is. It looks like there's just kind of a small barbed wire fence or something like that. But you can see the Spanish government was caught completely off guard here, and you have thousands of these men. I mean, it literally looks like, you often hear the word invasion, but it literally looks like one here. Look at that. I mean, you see the border fence there. They're all just going around it. And again,
the head of Spain's civil guard is calling this absolute chaos. In a brand new interview, he said, quote, "It's not possible to give precise numbers, but there are thousands of migrants crossing right now." He added that the border has totally collapsed, quote unquote.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it. And for folks who don't know where this is a small Spanish city, autonomous in North Africa. It's actually in Morocco, but it does have Spanish autonomy. It's called Ceuta. So this isn't on the mainland of Spain. But these images, we've been looking at them on social media all morning. It's just stark to see that there is no resistance whatsoever. I mean, at least in Del Rio back in 2021, when those 20,000 Haitians were crossing the river, similar images to this, you had some border patrol there. You had Texas.
So it's crazy. So I was wrong about it being on the outskirts of Spain. It's more of a territory, a little bit like Puerto Rico is for us. And I don't know if I had the other video of them just like... This is another one, but it could be very similar. Their Spain civil guard chief declares the border is totally collapsed, as per Bill Malusian. Thousands of military-age African men have poured over the border in the past several hours, because there's Muslim nations in northern Africa. That's Libya and others, and they've been invading some of the southern African areas, and radical Muslims are taking over those areas as well. I did a story on that a while ago. So that's why you're not seeing blacks, you're seeing really Muslims. This is because Spain just gave amnesty to illegals. All amnesty does is encourage more illegal immigration, and they're piling in, and regular people who are obeying the laws, are paying their taxes, are doing their things, they're going to be hurt.
Declaration.
I wanted to see the other one where they I might have lost it in one of the other pages where they attack a citizen in like a street or an alleyway. I guess I didn't, but that was another crazy video. It was like 3 of them. It was a citizen, I believe, from this town that we were watching, and they go up, they attack the guy, they cold cock him and knock him out, and they're hitting him on the ground. So that the regular citizens who've been minding their own business and following the law, they're just being overwhelmed and attacked by these illegals right now. Oh, I had saved this as an extra thing. And going back to the Andrew and Tristan thing, their challenge against extradition to the UK could reportedly last nearly a year. So they could be in jail for a year. So they're going to sit, somebody guy goes, so they're going to sit in a year in prison. Haha, let's go. Well, I don't know. We'll see what happens to him. So, this is crazy. This, for everyone that's kind of been in this, or you watch the video, I'm not sure this is all of it, but this is some of his breakdown. I had one where he was cutting himself so much, he was covered in blood at the end of the video. And when my computer started fucking off on me, I don't know if I ended up losing that. It was horrific. Bear with me a second here. Because I don't know how familiar you guys are with Perez Hilton. Now, when I first heard this, I immediately started, like, my brain started malfunctioning. Because I was like, what? Who? But from the Hilton family, Perez? The one, the girl that made the sex tape, and she had a show with her girlfriend, and it was and it was a reality show. I'm like, no, her name's not Perez. It's something else. Oh, it was Paris. I'm like, okay, who the fuck is Perez? And apparently he's giving himself this name, because I read that to you from my computer is just it's frisked, and I've lost some of my information that I prepped, and I apologize to everybody about that. I'm going to bring it back. His real name is Mario something. I'm going to play some of this video right here while I fuck around with this. So, Perez Hilton original live video on TikTok. Wait till the end. Shame on TikTok. Thousands across the world reported this to stop others being traumatized. All reports came back with no violations, and he says love to Perez, because it made it to the point where he was cutting himself, and it looked like it was from a movie. He was covered in blood. So here's some of it.
Is this a messy stream? Jesus is good. God saved me. I am his testimony. God saved me in many ways. God saved me in many ways. God saved me in many ways. Sorry. I know some people are turned off by that, but I just had to say it. Anyways, I'm gonna get back to my normal self eventually. I'm just so happy to be live and connecting with you all. I wish I could be answering your comments, but they're really coming in fast. God is good.
I've got the other one. So this is the initial breakdown, and he's drinking heavily. Apparently, this is what it turned into. I think it's been deleted by TikTok at some point, but some other people have been able to save this, for better or for worse. But so viewer discretion is advised for anybody who's watching it with your kids for some reason. I don't know. But here it is. See, you saw the knife flash when his hand came over. I'm going to go back a little bit here. It's over in that corner now.
I did this for my children. Oh, shoot me, motherfuckers. The police are here.
This is fucked. So there's the knife. Now he's moaning like that because he's losing blood at this point. That's not a distortion of the light. He's covered in blood. So it starts with...
Is this a messy stream?
Him having this breakdown.
Jesus is good. God saved me. I am his testimony. God saved me in many ways. God saved me in many ways. God saved me in many ways. Sorry. I know some people are turned off by that, but I just had to say it. Anyways, I'm gonna get back to my normal self eventually. I'm just so happy to be live and connecting with you all. I wish I could be answering your...
And then turned into this.
I did this for my children. Oh, shoot me, motherfuckers.
Jesus Christ.
The police are here.
So, originally when I heard about this, one, I didn't know who this fucking guy is. Two, I heard he was gay, big into the LGBTQ thing, which already starts turning me off when people are too much with that. And I was going to, I was going to come on and I was going to criticize him, but this is just someone who's suffering horribly. Like, I can't. When you see this first part, where you see how much he's suffering right here.
Is this a messy stream?
I can't shit on him. I don't know. I brought some stuff up. I don't know enough about him. I don't know if you guys do either. But you just see what he's going through mentally at this point. I mean, it's tearing him apart. Obviously, to get there, that's how much that's tearing him apart. And then he says, I'm doing this for my kids. So what he's suggesting is he's attempting to get rid of himself so that his kids don't have to have a father like him is my assumption. So Perez Hilton, born Mario Armando Lavandiera Jr., March 23rd, 1978 in Miami, Florida, is an American blogger, media personality, and columnist best known for his celebrity gossip site, PerezHilton.com. He's of a Cuban-American heritage, grew up in Miami's Little Havana and Westchester areas, attended Belen Jesuit Preparatory School, I can talk, and studied at New York University. He launched his blog, initially the page 666.com, in 2004. It became an early internet destination for Hollywood gossip in the mid to late 2000s, known for its snarky tone, photo doodles, and high traffic. He claimed millions of daily readers at its peak. His style drew both massive popularity and significant controversy, including criticism for his mean-spirited coverage, nicknames, speculation about celebrities' personal lives, including sexuality, and legal issues over content in later years, including his 2020 memoir, TMI, My Life in Scandal. He has expressed regrets about past cruelty and said he sought to change his approach. Hilton is openly gay and a single father of 3 children, son Mario and daughters Mia and Maite, M-A-Y-T-E, born via surrogate. He has appeared on reality TV, including Celebrity Big Brother UK, written books, hosted podcasts, YouTube content, expanded into other media. In 2026, Hilton faced major health challenges, including a lengthy hospitalization for sepsis related to a perforated ulcer after a severe flu, and a subsequent emergency surgery for a large blood clot in his leg. He relocated from Las Vegas back to his hometown of Miami in June, citing family, faith, and recovery reasons, and listed Las Vegas home on for sale. On the evening of, now we're getting to this, in the evening of August 4th, 2026, viewers of a TikTok live stream reported concerns about his well-being, leading Miami-Dade authorities to respond to his Westchester home. He was safely recovered and transported to a hospital for medical care related to a mental health crisis. His family and team have posted multiple updates on PerezHilton.com, confirming he's receiving medical care, is able to communicate, which they said gave them hope, and requesting privacy for him and his family, including his children, who were briefly at home before the situation escalated. Jesus. They have thanked support. Imagine your children seeing you that way. They've thanked supporters for messages and prayers while emphasizing focus on his recovery. So, politically, I don't know where he's at or what he is, but just as one human being to another, and normally I'm an asshole, so I would criticize or come down on somebody, but honestly, I hope he gets help and he's there for his family, because I seeing this in this part, the only thing you see is pain and suffering. That's all you see. And then that other part, I won't keep showing it. If you want to see that or the full thing, I'm sure the rest of it is floating around there somewhere. You can do it. I won't keep putting him through it. But that's a lot of pain.
Jesus is good. God saved me. I am his testimony.
So drinking, and then that heavy a drinking, he's taking it straight from the bottle right there. I don't know if it's vodka or what it is, but he is taking that straight from the bottle. There's no mixing going on there at all. I hope he's going to be okay. His children are going to recover from it mentally, and that he's going to recover from it and keep doing what he's doing. As far as the Iran thing goes, still a mess. Your gas prices are jumping. I said on a show or two ago, don't believe the bullshit coming from the Trump administration, the hot air that's being blown on all the American people. They have not secured the Strait of Hormuz. Gas prices will continue to raise or remain high. It's not just because of summer travel. It is because we are still having the problems in the Strait of Hormuz. So Gunther Eagleman, one of the bootlickers, is who posts constantly, everything's going great, everything's great. Trump is doing an awesome job, and that's the only bullshit you get from like him and Cat Turd, because they're fucking fakes. You know how the left has Harry Sisson and Joe from Jersey? Have you ever seen these other two assholes? Well, which are nothing but Democrats are doing an awesome, the Krasensteins. They're everything is going great with the Democrats. Everything is going awesome. They're making good decisions. Republicans bad. This is our Harry Sissons and Joe from Jersey on the other side, which is Gunther Eagleman and Cat Turd, which they just glaze over everything and let you know everything's going great. So he says officials say there's a real chance of a deal today or tomorrow to fully open the Strait of Hormuz and move towards de-escalation. Qatar and Secretary Rubio both confirmed progress. Oil is already moving through. Stocks are soaring. Oil closed in the 70s. Trump wants peace, but he's ready for war if needed. The next 24 to 48 hours will be critical. Bullshit. This is about the 7th peace deal where we're going to get everything figured out.
Open the strait and move towards a more normalized position in this conflict.
Qatar confirmed talks are moving, and so did Rubio.
I think the immediate deal, and the one that you see a lot of focus on, is the Straits. The Straits, there are ships moving through the Straits. There's oil moving right now through the Straits. So the Straits are open. Nonetheless, I think that there's a conversation and a negotiation that we are involved in between Oman and Iran on how more ships can be able to go through there safely in the short term as we move towards these longer term talks about denuclearization. And suffice it to say, there's been progress made in those talks, but not finality yet. We're hoping that will happen very shortly.
Negotiations are over the routes ships should sail through Hormuz, whether Europeans demine, and service fees. Trump says no fees, so they're squabbling. Now, if we don't like what they're cooking up, the sanctions and blockade stay. No sweat off our back. Iran's losing a small fortune every day. Meanwhile, stock market had another banger. Oil closed in the 70s. The market wants peace, so does Trump, but he's prepared for war. The 2 weeks of airstrikes were decisive. When Trump mentioned decapitation, the mullahs climbed down. Our F-22s never rest, refueling as they stalk the enemy. And the F-22 Raptors are ready to fly.
Look at me go. So in the meantime, while we're going to get the Strait of Hormuz open and everything's going to be okay, here's also Trump. The USA is locked, loaded, and ready to go against the Islamic Republic of Iran at levels of military terror strength and power not seen since World War II. We've been saying that every single time we've been bombing them. It's going to get worse. The next time is going to be even worse than the last time. This time is going to be even worse than the time before that. And now it's going to be the super mega ultra. Despite this, we have just been asked by Iran and other Middle Eastern countries to hold off any attack, in that the perimeters of a deal has been agreed to. This would include the immediate, complete, and total opening of the Strait of Hormuz for like the 4th time at this point, and an end to Iran's nuclear threat. Based on this request, I have agreed, for the future benefit of the world and likewise the survival of a successful, prosperous Iran, to cancel the attack, and subject to being able to rapidly make a deal, the country of Israel joins me in this commitment. And let's see if they actually hold off or not. Get to work, everybody, and get it done. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So we'll see what that turns into. So far, every single one of those that's happened that way has been a nothing burger. The strait stays closed, Iran makes threats, and everything goes to shit. There's one final story that I want to get to, and then I want to talk to you guys about something real quick here too. Okay, so there was the shooting at the In-N-Out Burger. This was absolutely crazy. Multiple people, 3 kills and 7 injuries. There's been a whole bunch of video coming out about this. Before I get to this, I want to talk about, because I was going to have a guest on the show for a couple of weeks now. I've been talking about having a guest on the show. He was he's a right-wing activist that has had a heavy online presence in the past. He goes by the handle TimTalk6. He's on Instagram, and he does a lot of work with the Proud Boys and a lot of work with other groups as well. I was going to have him on for an interview. We ended up having to put that on hold for right now because he has some other stuff going on, and he is not going to be able to do interviews until some of his work as an activist is done, and then he's more free to sit down with some people and have conversations. In the meantime, Kim Coulter, who was setting that up with me, we are in talks now instead for me to go on her show or for her to come on mine. As it's looking like right now that I'm gonna go on Kim's show, and we're either gonna have a chat or we're gonna have I'll guest host or something like that. We'll figure it out. The family and I are leaving for a vacation that we've had planned for about a month now. So next week I'm going to be gone. There won't be any updates or anything. This is the final one I got today. That's why I did a little bit of a longer show. And when I come back, Kim and I will be figuring out the best way to get together and do a show. But so for anyone that's familiar with her, here's Kim Coulter. Her show is War Paint, and then she works with the War Boys, which is the Proud Boys. And Rico Tario runs this show, and they work together. So at some point, I'll probably be going on Kim's show, and we'll be figuring that out in a couple of weeks' time. I just wanted to throw that out there. As far as the interview that I was going to have, some things have changed up. Okay. So in finalizing here and going with the shooting at the In-N-Out Burger, which was crazy. So the scene, I'm going to put this over here, and then I'm going to play some of the video for you as well. Because Kevin Sorbo, the guy that played Hercules on the show for a while, he's got video here. Libs of TikTok put up a different video as well. So I'm going to play both of those for you while I go through this.
Still shooting. Oh, dude, they fucking shooting up. Hell yeah. What the fuck? Dude, that nigga got an AK.
Oh, hell yeah, he does. Look at this fucking wacky motherfucker. He got fucking serious fucking gun. Oh, now he's getting a motherfucking... Oh.
He's grabbing another gun.
Oh, yeah.
He's grabbing something bigger.
We're getting the fuck out of here.
Then takes a break to grab another gun out of the trunk.
Hey! Stop shooting! Stop shooting, bitch!
Stop shooting, bitch, he yells out of the car. Fucking retards. So they're trying to be cool and be dumb kids, and they're like, hey, stop shooting, bitch. He yells out of the window so you can be a target. Fucking morons. Here he is, firing right into a Tesla. I don't know if anybody's in there. he's running around the parking lot looking for new targets, just indiscriminately firing into people and vehicles. So the scene at the brand new In-N-Out Burger in Twin Falls, Idaho, Saturday afternoon was like any other of the burger chain's locations across the country. Workers clad in their unmistakable red aprons and branded paper hats dished French fries and welcomed customers of the beloved restaurant. Then a young man walked in with a gun and opened fire. Customers screamed, diving from their seats. Some barricaded themselves in restrooms. Workers scrambled to get out the front door, spilling out onto the sidewalk of a busy street. Outside an ordinary parking lot filled with patrons charging their electric cars. So you're seeing him firing into the Teslas at the charging station. Or with the patrons and their electric cars are waiting in the drive-thru line, a routine weekend afternoon gave way to the kind of chaos that has become tragically familiar across the country. The sudden crack of gunfire, the scramble for safety, and the realization that any place can become the backdrop of a trauma and tragedy. 3 people were killed and 7 others were injured in Saturday's shooting before the gunman, 24-year-old Chad Williams, died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So he took the coward's way out. Twin Falls Police Chief Matthew Hicks said investigators are confident Williams acted alone. An off-duty state trooper and a civilian returned gunfire during the attack. There's a still shot of the civilian, and prevented drive the gunman away. So during the attack, heroic actions police believe helped drive the gunman away from the scene and prevented additional deaths and injuries, he added. So between the good Samaritan armed legally with a weapon and the police, they drove him away from the scene. These people are true heroes in our community, and their actions diverted the shooter and no doubt saved many lives, Twin Falls County Sheriff Jack Johnson said. The In-N-Out's highly anticipated Twin Falls location had been open only a week before it turned into another painful chapter in America's epidemic of gun violence. It joins a growing list of shootings this summer, including at a food festival, parade, and a place of worship. There was another shooting in Seattle as well that unfolded. They captured the gunman, or they end up dying. I can't remember. That unfolded in everyday spaces. The shooting in Idaho is one of at least 277 mass shootings in the U.S. this year, according to the Gun Violence Archive, which decides among the victims killed was an In-N-Out employee. Here she is here. In-N-Out employee Ashley Garibay. Her family told CNN in a statement Monday, this poor young woman was 23. We're heartbroken and devastated by the loss of Ashley, a devoted daughter, sister, auntie, cousin, and friend whose life was taken from us. The In-N-Out was Garibay's first job, and she dreamed of opening her own store. They said Garibay's family started a GoFundMe to raise money for laying her to rest in the most beautiful way. They go on to talk about her, a loving soul and a good person. So a lunch break turned into a fight for survival. Twin Falls 911 dispatchers could hear screaming in the background as they fielded calls from people reporting gunshots just before 2:30 p.m. local time. Hicks, a police chief, said Saturday's shooting unfolded in one of Twin Falls' busiest commercial areas, a stretch of the city's north side filled with hotels, national retailers, and restaurants that serve. I'll keep the video going here for you guys as well. Saturday shooting unfolded that serve residents and travelers alike, located approximately 130 miles southeast of Boise. Twin Falls is a regional hub for much of of southern Idaho. Video captured from a passing vehicle shows an individual who law enforcement says is not the suspect in the deadly shooting a gun outside the restaurant. So there was a fight and then a shooting, but both were not related to each other. In the video, a man is seen standing outside the restaurant, pointing a gun and firing a gunshot appears to be ringing out as the weapon recoils. The man then crouches and jumps into nearby bushes before the person recording drives away. Police have not identified the 2 individuals who fired back at the shooter. Jordan Salinas, a 35-year-old healthcare worker, identified himself as one of the 2 people who fired towards the gunman. That's him. Telling the Idaho Statesman that it was an automatic response. Salinas said he was with his girlfriend stopping for lunch when the shooting erupted, prompting him to reach for his semi-automatic pistol. As a caregiver for his brother, who uses a wheelchair, Salinas has been practicing for years, taking his training more seriously after the 2021 Boise Town Square shooting, which killed 2 people and injured several more. Salinas said he ran from his car toward the shooting, and when he saw the gunman firing towards cars, he pulled the trigger. And that's where you're seeing where he's firing at cars, and then Salinas shows up, starts firing at him. When he saw the gunman, and he did not like it when bullets started firing both ways, Salinas said of the shooter. Braxton Stube, an employee at a nearby Dick's Sporting Goods, told CNN affiliate KMVT he came face-to-face with the shooter who pulled the trigger in his direction. I saw the gun. I kind of just froze, Stube said. I put my hands up, and that's when he pointed the gun directly at me. Stube told KMVT he tried to reason with the gunman. After telling him he had a family, Stube said the assailant appeared to get emotional, but then as he fires a shot towards me, thankfully he had missed me. Taxi driver Terry Dudley, who had stopped in between customer rides to charge his Tesla at the new In-N-Out, heard gunshots himself. So there were people in those cars that you were seeing. There was one guy that was like doing Uber. Bleeding and panicked, Dudley called Crow and told him he had been shot. So Dudley was sitting inside the car when the gunman opened fire, striking him twice in the back. His friend and co-worker James Kroll told CNN. So when you see this and he's firing into one of the Teslas, he was hitting people. Bleeding and panicked, Dudley called Crow. So here's him in the back seat filming the shooter. Crow and told him he'd been shot. The two men had been friends 10 years, Crow said. They rarely let a day pass without talking, sharing a bond through one of Dudley's favorite hobbies, motorcycling, and eventually became business partners through Crow's taxi company. He's a larger-in-life kind of guy. Okay. I want to see what this guy's alleged reason for just showing up and shooting was. Another person was in their car with their two younger brothers waiting for their sister to come back from ordering their food when they heard the shots. They had to duck down in the car. He got glancing up where the gunman was. He said he then threw himself across the front of the car just to take up space, so if anything did come flying, I was there. His sister, Jalen Sanchez, had just ordered food and stepped into the restroom when the gunfire began. As people screamed and cried, others crowded into the restroom beside her, and they tried to barricade the door. When they were told it was safe, she ran out through the drive-through line and directly into the shooter's path. Talk about bad fucking information. As I was running, I faced the shooter head-on, and he pointed the gun at me, Sanchez said. I ducked behind a white car just to have some sort of coverage. She said she saw a pistol resting on a gun case she believed belonged to the shooter. So that car that he goes into in the beginning in this video, that's his car parked in the front of the In-N-Out Burger, and he's taking weapons out of it. This guy came running out, and he hid behind his car. There it is. For both Michael Dudley and Crow, the shooting is difficult to comprehend. What prompted the tragedy remains a mystery. Hicks said investigations are withholding additional details because releasing them could compromise the investigation. Investigators continue to review evidence, conduct interviews, and determine the full circumstances, including possible motivation, Twin Falls Police said in a statement on CNN on Monday, and they don't have anything else. So apparently there's some new video of this that's even crazier, but I haven't seen it yet. But crazy stuff. So, all right, I'm going to end here. I have a political event coming up tomorrow. I got voted in to join my local GOP town committee, so I'm part of the committee now. And that's just me, again, not only doing a show and trying to talk to people and educate people about what's going on, but also to put my money where my mouth is and to become more involved in the local level about what's going on, not just bitching about higher taxes and shit that, that they're taking advantage of us as taxpayers, but to get a foot in the door and actually have a decision on some of the things going on. So I have a special event tomorrow, and then we're leaving for vacation, and I will be back in a week. So in the meantime, just again, reiterating, at some point I'll be on War Paint with Kim Coulter when her and I figure it out. That'll be cool to do an interview on somebody else's show or just kind of talk and shoot the shit. And I'm looking forward to that. And thank you to all the new followers and everybody that's tuned in today. Please like and give the show a subscribe, help it grow and help me get out there on the algorithm. I hope you liked the show. I hope you appreciated it. And I will talk to you guys in a week. Thank you, everyone. Have a good weekend. And bye, everyone. Thanks. That's all I got.